Nice. Okay. I'm gonna rip you back to the world map for now. All right, let me get my notebook open.
How's World Anvil, by the way?
Very heavy.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Would it be good
But
for keeping narratives in track for like story writing?
yeah, yeah, I think it would be. The only like you've got to learn it. It's a tool. It's not just a notebook.
Well,
Um,
it's like a personal wiki too, like, isn't it?
it's it's a wiki that wants you to use it in a very specific way. And
Interesting.
whoever programmed the wiki has a really good idea about how they want you to use it.
That
Um,
both a good thing and a bad thing. And I'm
yeah,
sorry for bringing it up like right after you said, let's start playing. It's just I
no,
literally
it's
just
okay.
looked over the World Anvil link that you sent there, and
That's cool.
it reminded me.
You gave me time to I forgot to last time fill in the calendar for how long you guys were out.
Well, according to
What's
plan. Shit, does that make me a follower of Siege?
uh 7, 9, 10 days of Redshift.
Actually, I received.
Oh, okay then. That's fine.
All right. So I've been here for a while now. These red shifts usually last like a week, or are they always the same amount of?
They're always a different length, but the highest recorded is 14 days. Now of course a week is a 10, so um nobody calls them 2 weeks.
All right.
So today will be the 4th of Lugaus. Um so we're getting into the latter third of the year. Me and Macy both had their birthdays. But yeah, World Anvil, I can make articles for whatever I want. I can here, let me screenshot you what it looks like on the dashboard. Um
Oh, yes.
I think you could see this with an account, but like the fucking ads on this thing until you pay $100 a year for it are insane. Um
What do you mean by insane?
oh, they're just the whole thing is covered in World Anvil ads until you pay to get rid of them. But on the bright side, if you pay to get rid of them, people who look at your shit don't see the ads either. So, um, yeah. So this is like the center of the dashboard page. Um, so like they've got templates for all this stuff, and it's the same kind of just uh roughly HTML or I think it's BBC code um text entry, but depending on which one you pick, they kind of automatically give you a few sections that you can use.
So these are
And
template headers?
basically,
Like
yeah.
templates? Okay.
Yeah. And then the thing that you can do that I like is if you build the article correctly, you can go into the article on the actual page and you can hide or unhide certain pieces of information just from your viewers and keep them visible. You can GM layer them, and there's no sign that they exist if you until you turn them on for the viewers. So
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
you can actually, instead of what I do here, where I have an entire different OneNote for Redshift, I can have one page for a city, and I can have all of the information on it, and then I can just section it off, and then like even if I want something in the middle of two paragraphs where I'm like, by the way, this is a secret and this person is lying, I can just turn that off in the visibility and keep it there, all in one spot.
Do
So
you have a
that's
way for you to be able to see that?
yeah, it's
Like highlighted in a different color or something so that you know that this
It's
is hidden?
yeah,
I'm back.
it's just a visibility mask. So it
Cool.
when you're looking at it, it's just kind of grayed out for you to tell you that it's hidden, and that shows you that other people can't see it,
Cool.
but the author can see everything.
And of course, in articles like plot or prose, you could hyperlink important.
Oh yeah, you can hyperlink everything and like to any other article, and the hyperlink is only active if the article is public to your viewer.
That's pretty good. I'm
Oh,
trying to find something to organize my writing because I have like a stickler for everything to be sort of like everything that references each other should be like
yeah.
exactly.
You could do it with this. I Now that I'm getting into like using it to write up some stuff and link things together, unless I wanted to get really, really, really fucking specific, I don't think this is ever going to give me any problems. The only thing I've had to wrestle a little bit with was the timeline, because I wanted to display dates in a very specific way.
Ah, okay. No, I might actually think about getting this then.
Yeah, it's
Yearly
expensive.
though? Like how much is it?
I think it was 100 or 112 a year. But also that's how much I pay for Roll20, so I'm already pissing that money away.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Nice.
for Wolvanville, so the idea that I had is I want something to organize my writing better than my notebooks, right? That doesn't take nearly as much time, even though I've like developed
Yeah,
a header thing that I can pretty much
yeah, I
use
get you.
immediately. I want the wiki sort of aspect to it because that alone is sellable to somebody like an editor, which is sellable to somebody like publisher who's all like, oh, everything is easily like laid
Yeah,
out.
the,
I think
um,
Artisy might be the thing you're looking for.
You think I might want artists? See, I've been looking at Artisy too. Like,
Yeah, Sozo actually recommended it. He was showing it to me the other day.
Yeah, so amusingly, I was literally just using Artisy yesterday for a project.
Nice.
Anyway, it's very, very good for like game design data, like world building and management and stuff. I don't know that I would try to write a novel using it though.
I wouldn't write a novel using this either, unless I was if I had my novel somewhere else and then I put just the world info here
Right.
as a wiki for
I'm
myself.
saying I wouldn't even use Artisy as the wiki. Like it's
Got it.
very much set up to export data into game engines.
Oh, okay.
See, no, I wanted since I'm using fucking Google Docs. I'm using Google Docs to write that. I want to put the world building in a wiki from my notebook because mostly it's I write certain paragraphs, I put that into the Google Doc, but I keep all of this world building stuff in my notebooks. And it's not organized.
Do you want me to set up a wiki for you?
What do you mean?
Like I mean, as long as it's a free one, like MediaWiki, I do, pay for a web server.
Huh.
There's a free wiki somewhere. I mean, when we were doing the
Free
wikis,
wiki software, not free wikis.
I was gonna say because hosting was pretty damn expensive.
Yeah, I'm just saying I pay for a host that I really don't use right now anyway, so I
Wow.
could easily throw a wiki on it for you if you wanted me to, Verde.
Another way you could use a tool like WikidPad, which is basically able to run your own local on your machine.
Like
Really?
OneNote is free, so OneNote is similarly useful.
the thing that pushed me over to World Anvil was that OneNote I've been using for a while. One is not nearly as organized friendly as I would like it to be because you can only go like one layer deep in
Right, I
children.
forgot about that. Yeah,
Two, it fucking lags.
that's definitely true. Yeah.
So like I'm literally typing up quests for you guys, and it's fucking like I've got like a 5 second lag time on my text cursor, and it's really annoying.
I bet it's really annoying, but doesn't that also like you've seen Stargate SG-1, right?
A little bit.
Do you remember the episode when What's-Her-Face and the team get injected with these like nanobots that make them super smart and like fast and better?
So I just have to pretend that my mind is moving very quickly.
Yeah. See,
Too
no, your
fast for
mind
my
is moving
PCs.
faster than the computer can render how you're
Yeah.
typing. And so as long
That's
as you
right.
don't get any pauses, you can like feel like a true badass.
Thank you.
But no, there was a scene where she literally she says she finishes or caught up with her doctorate because she was able to type so quickly. But the most annoying part was that she can only type in 50,000 word bursts, or else the machine will crash. And then you just watch like text like lining up in
Yeah, spool out the buffer. I remember that episode is called Upgrades. I totally know what you're talking about.
Sweet. I knew I wasn't crazy.
So it's not that her brain is working so fast. It's that she's ascended to be able to type at hyperspeed.
Oh yeah,
So she was composing a book in real time and doing so fast that she would run out the keyboard buffer.
Well, yeah, it does feel like that. So that's why I dropped it. Or am in the process of trading over. Anyway, let's go. Everybody ready?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So last time, you all went exploring the handful of islands, small islands, in the bay east of Orvis. By talking to some seagulls, you learned that the choppy waters of the area that have maintained all this time are seem to only be a recent occurrence. You also learned that there are one or more large sea monsters.
Like 3 or 4?
Yeah, at least 3.
Yeah, at least 3.
So that's the information you're coming back with now. You arrive at Fort Harpham. Redshift on your heels is always going to take a couple of days before it gets here. Locks you in. Obelisks are up and running. Everybody is getting the usual supplies back, or getting ready to send them off back to Orvis. Getting the camp ready, making sure they have enough food to last them the week under the Redshift. Same as always.
I would say we would probably go back to Orvis. Report in about what other things.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you want to check in at the obelisk first, or do you just want to tell Captain Nami and then start going?
It would be fine to just start going. Pretty safe path.
Yes, it is. Okay, yeah. So you're able to basically just take a short hop from there. As usual, you can always volunteer to carry some supplies that need to get moving from here to there, and take them with you on your way. and we'll move you back to Orvis for the Redshift.
All right, everyone, the fish cart has arrived.
Woo!
Yeah, it's better fishing out in the bay than in the river. That is certain. So
Of course, I can keep it nice and cold.
yeah. So there's plenty to go around for the main fort at this point.
What kind of we've been fishing off this river for a little while now. Is it do we have eels or anything?
Uh,
I'm only wondering because it seems like a little colder. We might have a European climate.
that is about correct in terms of climate. And it is kind of even after fixing the river, it from that pollution a while back, it is kind of a muddy, mucky sort of ordeal.
Yeah, if there are any eels in this water, Alvis Tavern might just remark one day, just thinking, maybe even telling Maisie, we might want to try to catch some, breed eel. I hear eel eggs are a luxury. Get a lot of money for the, expedition that way. Also, they're very tasty. Eel eggs.
Eel eggs.
Unless they're live births. I mean, I like eating eels too. I just eel eggs.
Eel egg sounds gross.
Doesn't Naya like fish?
It's an acquired
eggs?
taste. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's an acquired taste. There wasn't, everything was frozen up where she came from, so the diet up there was mostly meat, venison,
Oh yeah.
red meat. Plus,
Um,
any fatty meats like that would stay with you longer and help keep you warm and, keep everything moving.
but she said she'll have to go ask the people who do the fishing around here about what exactly they've been finding, because she's usually in the business of animals that are alive and not ones that are for eating.
I mean, I eat a lot of alive animals.
Don't eat our.
Not while they're still alive.
Oh God, no!
No, okay.
I was confused there for a moment. I'm all, what do you mean? The animals I've eaten were alive at one point.
Well, yeah, but again, yeah, she does. We'll say pets, not livestock.
Oh, pets. Yes.
It's not long after you get in town before Dex finds you. And he is carrying a sort of scepter. It's not it's definitely not the prettiest scepter you've ever seen. Like normally when you see a wizard carrying a scepter, these guys, they go hard on the egomania. Like there's usually gold. There's usually jewels. This object is, you think it might just be steel. You can see the welding spots.
Ooh,
Um,
grungy. I kind of like it.
and there's a kind of unwieldy bit at the end where there's a obelisk battery sort of clamped in there, and it doesn't really look like it is fully secure, but it's probably good enough to stay there for now.
Ooh.
And he says, "Oh, good, you're back. I had Smithy whip something up.
What is this? I already like it.
All right, let me show you." He he has a pouch, and he fishes around in it. He holds the scepter above your head, and
He's already pawing for it. Doesn't even know what it does.
it's in the air. It's higher than you could imagine. And
Oh, how did you get so tall?
he pulls out a unicorn horn fragment. One of the many small shards. And this one is about a 2-inch square. And he says, "All right, take a look at this." And he lowers it to a height that you can see. And just to confirm, I'm assuming everybody's here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm here.
Yep.
So he points the scepter at the unicorn horn, and there's a couple seconds. He doesn't say anything, and then the object starts to wobble. It starts to wiggle. It starts to uh, writhe like worms. And then just like that, it's in the shape of a cartoon heart. He says, "See? Look, it worked."
It did work.
And then he does it again, and it turns into a star.
Oh God, my eyes!
I've been able to do this with a couple of pieces now. We figured it out. I figured out how to. Well, I mean, as long as I get the channeling correct, and I mean the staff is kind of a simple thing. As long as you focus on it, you can pretty much alter its properties at will.
Oh, really?
While he's talking, you notice the objects start to wobble, and there's a crack and a snap, and it explodes into dust in his hand.
Uh huh.
And he says,
Huh.
you also need to maintain a magnificent amount of focus and willpower. I got a little distracted.
Magnificent amount?
Yeah. Like I said, I've gone through a few of those at this point. It's kind of hard to, you think about all the things you want to do with this, and then all of a sudden the thing goes poof. It's hard to keep stable. It's quite safe though, at least on the scale that we're doing it. I haven't exploded anything else. Not anything big
That's
for a whole week.
yeah.
When it comes to new tech, that's a good record.
Oh yes, no, absolutely. That's not what I'm quite disappointed about. I can't concentrate on my familiar forever. Though, like for an instant there, I had a good idea, like that these unicorn horn bits. No, it wasn't these bits. Were it was the talon. I'm getting these magic items and stuff mixed up in my head.
We do have a couple floating around at the moment.
Yeah. Yes.
But in any case, A little bit difficult to use, but I suspect that with the right inflection, we might be able to do what we want with this thing.
You think so?
Very nice.
Good job.
Thank you. Well, yeah, maybe. At least the proof of concept is, I mean, the
Yeah.
stuff. It's basically bone. It's not supposed to work like that.
No.
So if I can do that, and that's not that's not any spell I have written in my spell book.
You don't have prestidigitation?
Well, it doesn't. You can't do it to like that. It doesn't work like that. Sure, I could make a little, right? Actually, does he have prestidigitation? He might not.
I mean, all
No, he does.
things that unicorn horn thing could fit in my hand, and I can make any thing or image or shape the size of my fist.
You know,
Right,
I like the idea of where you're going with this. You don't have anything else going. I'd love to work with Redshift. See if we can actually codify the other architecture.
the
Absolutely.
sense has forbidden me from working on it in the fort proper, considering last week's events. But we can certainly whip up an instruction manual, and I can tell you how you do it, more or less. But yeah, he takes the battery out of the staff and says, officially speaking, we're not supposed to use this here.
Okay.
Oh,
Just in case. Especially while the redshift is on.
especially while the redshift is on.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want to go accidentally blowing up that obelisk or something.
I mean, with another obelisk. No. We don't have another one of those around here.
Unfortunately, no. We are a little dependent on just the one.
Could you stack those theoretically?
Well, there's nothing stopping the magic from working. Say one of them right next to the other. It would work. I don't believe it would cause any kind of interference if that's what you're.
All right. You just maybe get another one and put it in a secret place so that the one that isn't so obvious gets destroyed by a dragon or something.
It is not a bad idea, actually. Yeah, that's.
Or maybe you could separate it into many pieces so that it has to be destroyed from all of those markers. Transformors? I don't know what you would call those.
Each one probably needs.
Damn. Yeah, good point.
Well, more like it would if we could. You'd basically just have 5 obelisks at that point, and each one would have its own little zone, and you'd have to carefully line them up, and that might get a little. It could work. It would certainly be some insurance, but it wouldn't be a like if you turn one of them off, it would just make that area dangerous again. Anyway,
It's sad.
I'm gonna go put this away. Did you all just get here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think Lucente's busy, so you could probably go report into her, and we'll We'll write that manual. Not too much to it.
I wish we had a bigger boat.
Probably gonna
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have these ideas, but like, first they need a crane, and we got like we got the crane, and we might have like a dredge of some sort, but no, we need a bigger boat.
out of character, sir. This a campaign with cannons?
You would be able to get them if the need arose, but they're not on hand.
I see.
If you wanted to equip a ship with them as part of building the ship, it would technically be possible.
Oh God, that's not why I wanted a bigger boat.
That's what
I wanted
I
I wanted a bigger boat because I wanted Smitty to make us a
Yeah.
bathysphere.
Yeah, you guys have like a barely a sailboat at this point. And I mean Nami's been working on a second one for a while, but that's going to be like carrying capacity for Fort Harpum at that point. So yeah, if you want something that you could call a ship, there's going to need to be some talks.
I wanted a diving tank,
Yeah.
a diving bell, which would involve a ship at least big enough to stay buoyant with that kind of weight. Big ass crane.
Well, to the boss then.
Yeah, I always love seeing Lucent.
All right.
We
She's
know.
here. She's at her office.
Hey, what do you mean you know?
You make it obvious every time there's the opportunity. Doing that for years.
Absolutely. I've even asked to be her secretary once this is all over.
You did. That's a big promotion.
It would be. Also, apparently, Lucent would be happy to get me away from the guild. Maybe? I felt like I felt that. Albus Trevor reassures himself out loud. No one?
Maybe. Seems like something.
I mean, if it was really a guild and not, say, indentured servitude, you should just be able to walk away.
Yes, but that's the fine point there. It definitely sounds like indentured servitude.
What?
Plus brainwashing.
I find those two often go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just he is titled an intern.
What's
That-
subtitled?
Also intern.
Doesn't Sharp get paid?
Sharp does get paid.
Just saying.
That's in its contract.
What does my contract say again?
I believe you defined your contract as not paid, unpaid intern.
What?
Well, you're paid in like favors and gifts mostly.
Most
In exposure.
Maybe he just wanted to make somebody happy.
favors.
Plus, you get to expense like your guild costs, right? Like traveling here, and
Oh yeah.
that was that was about the most you've ever spent in your life. So
I mean, I am very young. I only got to the surface, a couple years back now, actually, since I've been here for a while. Huh. You think I'm a servant?
I would have used the word robot, but
What?
yeah, it means something like servant.
Huh. I need to move up on life. Am I allowed to? Is upward growth in my contract? I look over my contract.
Oh yeah, I mean, like it. There's definitely like pathways to becoming an overseer, getting your own agency.
I think I I kind of want a well-paying military career. Okay, I'm gonna send a correspondence letter asking to see if I can become a member of an official member of the military under Lucent. Maybe asking for some of those favors in my contract. Do I have to make any
Ah,
for this?
so like an agent who is also in the military.
Sure. I wouldn't dare dream of trying to use the military to establish connections to get me out of this area.
Yeah, no. I mean, the club loves it when its people are part of multiple organizations.
Of
That
course they would, because that
yeah,
means that they get information, right?
yeah, exactly.
As twiddling and as twiddling as that information might be, especially from a gnome. Like you already really value the stuff that I send you. I know that's true. Maybe I'll leave that out of the final draft. Cross that out. Oh God, these are some things to think about, guys.
Well, of or over that.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do with my time
Yeah, okay.
after this report.
In the meantime, welcome back from the Brigadier. How did it go?
I'm having an existential crisis.
It went fairly well. We came to explore the approximate perimeter of them. Told us that there's a few monsters free out there.
Okay.
It hasn't always been that, or like problem appeared came to the area.
So less time than we've been here. Yeah, okay. Um Not thanks to the sunken city. Got it. Well, you know, the good thing about sea monsters is they usually don't walk on land.
Yep.
The bad thing is we're in a pretty big river here and we've got one or two points of contact on the water. So we're not completely insulated from them.
How deep is this river?
That's good to know. You know, probably not so deep that a sea monster could get through it if we were talking about the size that you reported last time. Although I could maybe see something crawling its way up here if it really wanted to.
I would like to dredge the waters. Maybe after my correspondence.
There's a couple rafts that are like in use up and down this river. Um, but she says, well, if you tell me where the territory of these monsters supposedly is, uh, for now we can mark that as a no-go zone. And
Oh, I have it marked right here on the map.
good. If it's a small area and if you're confident that that's their territory, then we may just be able to avoid it. I wouldn't say no if you all thought you wanted to go and hunt it down for us, but considering how little boating we do, we might be okay leaving them be.
Makes
As long as we
sense.
don't-
They
as long
do
as
have
we
some
don't go out in the
strange
open ocean.
phenomena going on down there. Ice falling from the sky, source unknown. Sea monsters
Well, no,
recently.
you remember that the seagull told you that the ice tossed at them.
But the ice what?
The ice was tossed at them. That was part of what the seagull mentioned to you.
I didn't get that impression from the conversation with the seagull. I
Well,
got the impression.
that was the impression I was trying to give, in which case I
Oh.
apologize.
Whoops. Okay, so let's backtrack on that
At least
then.
in the seagull's brain, there was a correlation between seeing the fish and almost getting shot down by a chunk of ice.
Yeah, I remember that the seagull kind of had the impression that they were targets because part of the flock wasn't part of the flock taken out by some ice.
More that they had to do some evasive maneuvers.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that it was thrown at them? No, I didn't get that. Sorry.
Got it.
Okay.
But yeah, you can.
So we can
this.
pass
No,
that
I would-
along to Lucent that
Yes.
basically the bird thought that it was being targeted by ice. I'm not sure that I buy that completely, but there may be a correlation between the ice and the sea monsters.
I will mark down supernatural sea monster.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
the impression that those
With a
sea
question mark.
monsters have a ice breath weapon that they use to kill fish. That's been my takeaway.
Well, and maybe they're like whales or something, and they have some kind of a blowhole that would shoot ice out of the blowhole and then fall to Earth. I mean, that would have to be one heck of a shoot to be able to go up that high and then come back down at such force to leave the kind of cratering that we saw.
From
Or
what you've told
skewer a
me,
school of
the
fish.
Yeah,
ice-
to skewer an entire school of fish.
From what you've told me, the ice craters that you've spotted are quite significant.
Yeah. So, but what we're seeing here is we have the ice spikes and the cratering around them on land, but in the water and in and around the water near land, we also are seeing, according to the seagull anyway, we're getting more that this is happening, and there may be a relationship, a direct relationship, like cause and effect between the sea monsters and the ice,
If you're telling
which
me
would be the
this,
first
I have
time we've
to-
ever seen that.
I have to rethink my earlier statement and discourage you from going hunting this monster until you have a plan to not get a hole punched in your boat by a giant chunk of ice.
Yeah,
If you
good plan.
decide to.
I'm on board with that. Oh, sorry. Pun not intended.
I actually had a plan.
All right, let's hear it.
I was figuring we'd just use the staff.
Oh, the one that the
Scepter,
thumb.
yes.
I'm not good with magic stuff, but yeah, I get what you
Yeah,
mean.
the deep scepter.
Okay. It's certainly worth a shot. What's your plan if it doesn't work?
Get the fuck out of there.
Hmm.
Well, chances are they can go faster than we can, because it's their environment.
Well, I guess they stay to a relatively fixed territory, though.
Yep, and the territory is not huge, but it's got some distance. I mean,
I have
and we've got on Alvis's map. It's marked out there where the rough waters are, so it's easy enough to avoid.
Yeah, no. So hunting is not something I would figure we would do until maybe we get a bigger boat or some harpoon or better means of shooting into the water.
Well,
But
the
I
other thing is
definitely
we
think
might
that
be
we
able to
could
do a harpoon
flee.
from land.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, what I was just saying is I think we could definitely flee from something if the deep scepter doesn't work. But Montlarin seems to have a radical plan.
Oh,
Can you cast it on an unwilling creature?
I don't actually think you can cast it on an unwilling creature.
Let me
but
look.
If you could, because then you just cast it and wait for them to suffocate, right?
Up to 10 willing creatures.
Oh,
If I said target a creature submerged in liquid, the spell carries the target to the surface. But again,
it still has
willing
to be willing.
is in the previous sentence.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
That's too bad.
that would be a radically great idea, though.
See, she says that's I could never get this stuff. Like somehow you're able to differentiate between willing and unwilling, even if the thing's like asleep or whatever. It doesn't make sense. Anyway, magic.
Magic. So if you dominate them, you could cast water walking on them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you demand that they submit.
All right. So
wait,
there's a combo here.
No, if dominate works, then I think we're actually going to want to talk to it and see if we can come to some sort of truce.
There are 3 of them. We could talk to one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So the other 2 we still cast water walking on, right?
I
Well,
don't know if we.
The
still all
dominated
three
one
at
would be the
same
only one
time.
you could make to be willing.
would I use charm,
We have
or
3
would I
domination.
use
Well, I'd use the staff,
dominate?
and then when I, have it under control, bring it back.
Doesn't really matter. They're both level 4.
Yeah, no, the scepter, the magic item, can cast the spell, so you wouldn't need to cast dominate or charm. It would you do it from the staff, and then if that works, then the second part of the plan.
Interesting.
You can even do it 3 times.
Yeah. She says, "Well, that's sort of. I'll have to see what we can do about a real boat. No offense to Rhode Isle.
Absolutely none
But-
to Rhode Isle.
Uh,
But I also wanted to ask Smitty if he could make us a bathysphere.
a what?
It is this tank to which we pump air in from bellows high upon the board of a deck in the ship. And then, in this bell-shaped structure, men and women alike of all races sit inside of the captured air, and we put it under the water at depth.
You've adapted a Veshan accent somehow. But oh yeah. I think I've seen one of those once. We would need a
That is rude, Montlarin.
we would need a bigger boat though, right?
Uh-huh. We're gonna need a bigger boat. If
Alright.
if we're gonna tackle the question of the sea monsters, then we're gonna need a bigger boat. If we're not gonna go bother them, and we're not gonna be bothered about them, then we don't.
Well,
I wouldn't be opposed to having a bigger boat regardless. Perhaps perhaps it would be in our interest to expand a dock somewhere, more than what we have at Harpum. Maybe give us a little more space to build. I'm not sure. We might be able to do something. We might be able to do something further away that would give us access to other locations. I doubt that we could sail a boat all the way from the Empire into the bay in time safely enough, and then also get it into the range of an obelisk completely. It
Well,
may
do we
just
have to be concerned?
be wood and rope, but
Are
there's a
inanimate
reason
objects affected by the redshift?
there's a reason we don't keep too many of our tools out of the
Okay.
area. Yeah, it's rare, but it can happen, and you don't want those things, one, to come to life, two, to explode, three, it could, you've got the ass half of the boat sticking out into the redshift. It just turns to stone one day and sinks. Like we, that's no good. It could do something even worse. It could change something you can't see, and you won't see till it's too late.
I've never had any of the rocks I put out turn into anything cool.
I'm sorry to hear that. At least,
Even the one I drew a face on.
Maybe next time try building a snowman, and maybe it'll think it's a person.
Whoa! Is this an actual mission? I'm gonna go build a snowman next time. We're gonna test the Redshift. Various different pieces of equipment on them. Maybe leave some naked. No, this will be great.
Definitely
a few people have
top hat.
I think some people have built snowmen around here before, but okay, yeah, you can try it. I don't think we've done science on it.
I'm gonna tell Decus about it right away. We might be able to make snowmen golems in order to protect ourselves. Ice fire, that would be a great means of fighting off the forces.
The Olaf army.
All right. Well, while he's out of here, everybody else. So okay. I need to think a little bit and maybe contact some people back in the Empire about what we're gonna do about this boat situation. Besides that, I did have a team go and finally retrieve the bug from the peninsula. I don't think we need it there anymore. We've had our eye on the volcano for a couple months now, and well, I hate to get overconfident, but we've seen no signs of anything really over there. So if that's a dragon, he's likely not home, or he doesn't get out much.
It would be hard to correlate the volcano's existence, water creatures, the territory.
Those are pretty damn far away, yeah.
Yeah. Why would something like
well, if I hadn't laid eyes on it myself, I'd posit an ice volcano, but that doesn't seem to be the case, at least for this one. Now, yeah, if you'd like to go explore that location, it's definitely an option. Um, I hear Dex has somewhat mastered this unicorn business. Um, he seems to think he's almost ready to take that thing over to the wall and give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm super keen to do that myself. I feel like as far as the expedition's main mission goes, that's a huge step forward for us if it works.
It is, and if we can get an obelisk set up at Chauvet or somewhere nearby there, there'll be plenty of time for us to investigate these other things. I think. Um, if we can get through that wall, that's well, it's less people I'll have sitting around, more people going out there across those mountains. Um, hopefully, finding us some progress and some answers.
I'm hoping that we'll experience another time slip as we move further east as well.
I am too. I'd like to make sure that we have our questions lined up and prepared for when we do.
That's a good point.
Say I'm pretty interested as well. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to join you for any of those because for the couple of minutes I spent in Orvis, I definitely spooked the hell out of some folks. But you all are not so scary, so.
I don't think you're scary, Lucent. You think you can hear?
No, it's funny that
That's okay. Being
because
scary is fine.
Captain Man seemed fan favorite at the party.
Well, if I remember correctly, he also scared the pants off of the princess's guard.
Well, as Beholder would.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of light duty protecting for something that level of danger. But if that was in either the past or a different reality, or both.
In any case,
A
I
past
suppose whoever
different
finds
reality.
it will get to go there. But maybe if we're lucky, it'll take over our whole camp for once. As long as it's not permanent. Uh, I don't see any reason why we can't do this. Let's see. If we set out, yeah, that should work fine. If we set out at the next break in the Redshift, we could make it to Aris's tower, then camp out there. I think
Oh, definitely.
for the
We've made
subsequent
that
one,
trick.
and then head on out to Chose.
Sounds good.
If you don't mind, I'd like to go with you for this one. I haven't seen the city in person myself at this point, and I would like to see that wall come down.
For sure.
Oh my god, I wish Alice was here to hear that she would be coming along.
Well, now it's a surprise.
I know, that's great.
All right then. If that's the case, I have some stuff to get ready here. You all have a week to or so to rest and recuperate. So make sure you do that. And I'll I'll contact Expeditionist Mortier at the tower and let her know we're going to be on our way. They've all been spread out up on the north half of the zone for the past couple of weeks, helping out with Van's business a little bit. So, hopefully, hopefully we'll get this done quick.
All right. Like a couple of us, we're gonna get.
All right, yeah, you have. Let me just double check. You've got about 7 days.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know what I'm doing.
At least Alvis knows what he's writing up after that spiel to Decus.
Does anybody else have anything special in mind that they want to do?
Not particularly. I might go fishing.
Okay.
Yeah, there was the dredging, but like I don't know how long it would take to like write up the treatise, not treatise, whatever.
Yeah, that depends on how long Alvistaver wants to spend fiddling with his own handwriting.
Well, I mean, it has to be perfect.
It does have to be perfect. Vim is a little bit of a stickler for penmanship specifically.
Yeah,
Um,
but also for accuracy of what I'm asking for. Like he might just like do a couple of letters back and forth,
Yeah.
just like asking me what I want because
oh
I asked
god,
him
it
something.
would take months.
Yeah, no, so I need to be hyper specific. Are there any like how does one become like a lower or petty officer or an adjunct officer to somebody? And what are the technical terms for that?
Do you want to ask the brigadier this question?
Yeah, that's actually probably for the best.
All right. So you'll have to catch her a little bit later. But you do, and she has a makeshift weight that she's using. One is a bucket. It's like half full of sand. The other one in the right arm is a barrel with a handle that is mostly full of sand. Doing them both at the same time.
This is her exercise?
Yeah. So, she says, "You look like you have a question."
Yeah. Say, for instance, I was writing on a letter to try to join the officers corps of the Empire. What kind of officers would there be? I'm into like tactics, and I've been reading a lot about that, and I would want to honestly like serve under a like sort of adjunct position towards like a commander, an admiral, a brigadier, a colonel, or something like that.
There's a pause in the curls, and then they start back up. And she says, "Huh. Well, uh, I can tell you most people start out just by signing up as infantrymen, you know?
I know this is probably the worst possible thing to say to, someone who probably rose through the ranks from that position, but I'm an educated man? He shrugs and, gets all high-pitched and squeaky as he says this and sees her curling.
There's absolutely no shame in that. And besides, you've done plenty out here that if you did want to uh, officially, properly join the Empire's military once this is all done, um, you'd certainly have better standing than most to get in.
Oh, wonderful. And this wouldn't just be like a thing I could, do via correspondence, given my special circumstances within the Empire's outpost here.
I could probably arrange you a chat with some of the people who helped us set this whole commission up.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Thank you. Well, before I can even do that kind of stuff, I need to write this correspondence letter to my stickler of, I guess you can call him an overseer.
That is what your superior is called. Yes, I believe.
What,
From what I've looked into.
what exactly would a junior officer adjunct underneath a brigadier would be called? In the most technical terms.
Out here we use the word captain.
Captain. Ooh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Though, I may very well retire once this is all done.
Sure. That's interesting. Don't you get cadets or something like that? Aren't you a person of interest or target?
You're probably right. They're gonna want me to do all sorts of shit after I go back home. God, I didn't even think of that.
I mean, a whole new territory over here. Didn't you expect maybe a rear admiralship, just to run the units that are here? I could see you being a desk jockey, but maybe I don't know if they would let you go, especially if this is successful.
Well, see, I was thinking, once we're done, I was kind of hoping we'd, I don't know what I was hoping. I kind of haven't really thought about it too much. The part that happens after we end, if we end it.
You've been very focused on your work. This is why you need an adjunct. See, I'm not doing it just because I'm some creepy stalker who likes fit chicks. It's also a thing. I can see a person who needs a good secretary.
I'm sure you can.
You take your tea with brandy?
Today, I think that's fine.
All right. And he walks off.
Yeah, I'll have to get in touch with some of my superiors, and I'm sure your guild will love having an asset, another asset.
The guild.
Really in there in the Empire.
Ugh. Just Ugh. The guild. The guild. God. No. Don't. Don't.
No?
No. This is not for the guild. I'll tell you that much at least, but I don't know where Sharp is right now, so.
He's all the way over at RSS.
So you say, but I mean, that guy, did you know he gets paid?
Yes, I did. I do, in fact, keep a close eye on everyone around here.
Do you know that I don't get paid?
I do know that. Well, we pay you.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Sort of. I know it's like fake money around here, but
The guild would call it company money.
we're gonna pay you when you go home anyway.
Well, of course, but I've been trying to think of like beyond the guild a little bit. Like, sure, maybe membership in the guild might prove, beneficial, but man, I've made some friends here. Talked to like Montlarin. Apparently, I've been subjected to some sick shit. Did you know snorting unicorn horn is like considered bad in like taste?
Did they make you do that?
Make is a really strong term. It's more like a cultural handshake. If you reject, you get beat. Well, something like that.
Oh boy. Well, she says, the level of bureaucracy you're going to find in the military is perhaps just as bad as what you're dealing with.
It's
Back at home.
flavor. It's flavor I'm after. See, the bureaucracy is not the bad thing. See,
Well, if that doesn't bother you.
I have grown in these few years to like my independence, even though it's sort of, within the bounds of, stuff. She gestures to you, to the brigadier, hierarchies, things. But like, some of my friends are calling me a servant, and I don't like that. That's not good for my image.
Well, out here you're a free man, Albus.
Thank you. But I mean, like, I'm within some walls. We all got our walls. I can't go outside.
Or supernatural barriers, yes.
Right.
It does get a little boring.
How heavy are those?
This one's about 20. This one's probably about 5 times that.
Kilograms?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could lift up either of those.
That's okay, I'm a lot bigger than you. And I've got this thing.
All right. Did you start off with that weight?
After I woke up with the whole arm thing, would you believe me if I said it was one of the first things I tried?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. All right. I got a letter to write.
Yeah, me too.
Ooh. Oh. Well, yeah, you're busy, but hopefully connections. Yeah, what we talked about.
I'll see if I can find somebody.
Great. And thus began Albus Taver's military career.
Eventually.
I'm a level 2 fighter.
That's not a bad
right?
start, though. Having connections.
Yeah. And I'm even qualified. Like I said, I'm a level 2 fighter.
Yep.
Now, over at where Dex is located, who out of the group is involved in this review?
You mean who's been witness to that process?
Who's joining Dex and writing the instruction manual?
Oh, I would definitely.
Nimbus is.
Okay.
I don't know if I have enough time.
No, it's
I-
okay. It's okay if you're busy. Like this is information you guys are going to get on the walk anyway. But whoever wants to
Naya
be here
can
now.
help if there's a need. She's happy to help.
I'm definitely in the library because that's where I write.
Ah, okay. So yeah, you've got this kind of going in your periphery. So he lays out what we have right now. There is a noticeably smaller amount of unicorn horn fragments remaining. He says, we have some of these left. They are, I would say, relatively unstable. They're workable. Maybe you all can practice with a few of these on the way up. I'll pack these up into a bag for us before we go, and let you mess around with them. We'll take an extra couple of batteries just in case we need. He has the horn, which again is it's like the horn. Normally, a unicorn horn is like a smooth spiral, right? But this is you know, like the kind of inverted spiral, kind of like a drill bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is sort of inverted in that way. Still straight, but twisted.
It's like the anti-spiral spiral from Tapatoga Tekken Gurren Lagann.
I don't remember what it looked like in that one. It's been a while.
An inverted spiral.
Yeah, I guess if it's inverted, then yeah. But yeah, it's the one where like the big part is the indent and the small part is the outdent. Type of twist. And he says, "This I predict." Now, I've been reluctant to use it because, you know, we don't really know what's going to happen. I think we're going to have to live test this one. As long as you are all okay with that. But in my opinion, proof of concept over here. These things worked great. Unstable, a little bit, hard to use. If we have a complete unicorn horn, a complete shifted unicorn horn, it should be more stable and should be easier to use once we get it put together.
Don't horses travel in herds?
Yes. What?
Where did we find the unicorn? Maybe there are more in that area.
Unicorn.
He was the watcher.
Unicorns aren't horses.
What?
He was
just says
the
that. And moves
watcher
on.
for millennia.
Albus Taver is confused.
Yeah, just out of this corner of his mouth, not a horse.
Also, Muntler, and I did see your question, and yes, if you have the money for it, please go right ahead.
Cool.
Thank
you, sir.
Unicorn. Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah.
And he says, this right here is the haven't named it yet, but it is a scepter that Smithy put together for us. There is a receptacle for the battery. You kind of have to plug it and then like hook it manually with these little uh, bits and then clasp it and lock it. Um, and then once you do that, it'll stay. Um, and then the top half here, so as a wizard, and as one who has practiced this sort of thing before, I was sort of able to use this as like a staff and point it at my target. But I've also had Smithy design it so that we should be able to put the unicorn horn in the top. So then you've got a unicorn staff, uh, or perhaps a spear if you like. He disassembles the battery again. Now, like I was saying before, we can't play with these uh, here in the fort. Um, but as to how it works, um, you all really hit on something good. You know that. With the right power, with the right power source, with the right amount of, I've described it before as mana, um, not my own, that would likely drain me and leave me exhausted very quickly. But with the batteries which have a lot of power in them, um, not so much that we could use these too much, uh, but if you use this device to draw the power and deliver it to the object is so receptive to mana that you can enforce your will upon it and really tell it to change however you want it. And maybe change other things. Now, you saw what I was able to do with the thing. I made it change shapes and stuff. That was mostly what I did for practice. But the potential is potentially limitless, I suppose, as far as your imagination can go. The only thing I wasn't able to do was transmute the stuff into a different stuff. So I suppose there's a sort of sense to that, in that the horn would no longer have its properties if I turned it to gold or something. Which is a shame, but not why we're here. We're here to fight the Redshift with Redshift, I suppose. So the key is concentration and you might say determination. Lose focus on it for a second and it'll go pop. Like I said, these fragments are pretty unstable, so they're kind of one shot. You get one chance, you mess it up, and poof. I don't know what'll happen to the actual horn if that happens. That's sort of why I haven't tried it. I would like it if we'd be able to use this thing on our target before that happens. That's about it. It's very simple. Any questions?
I have a question, but I'm not sure that I know how to verbalize it.
All right. Well,
I guess there's
there are no stupid questions here.
it's kind of like, is the wand, let's say, the the focal object that lends the focus energy to something else? Or is it the wand that is the projectile that will shatter the glass?
Okay. Think of it. Think of it this way. You have a Let's see. Have you ever seen one of those crank-powered hammers?
I think so.
Okay. In this sort of contraption, you have a hammer which hits your object of choice. You have the crank which gives power to the hammer, more power than you could deliver as a regular
Yep.
humanoid.
Okay.
But of course, you need to apply the power to the crank yourself, and you need to direct it. There's perhaps not the best analogy in the world, but consider the horn to be the hammer, the battery to be the crank, and you to be you, crank.
So where is the
Guiding.
will applied? To the wand, to the to the crank, to the hammer, to the projectile? Which is it where the will is applied? To the wand, or which is the crank? Which is the hammer? No, which is the crank? Right? Did I say that right?
Okay, yes. Excellent question. It's sort of difficult to pinpoint.
Aha. Okay. Well, that would explain why I'm sort of confused.
The perhaps not so great answer to your question is that I intend to turn these three objects into one object, and we
Okay.
will have a unicorn horn on a rod with the battery. That's all according to plan.
Okay.
So you'll have to focus on that.
Are
But
there several of us focusing on different parts?
well, it would
I'm
probably
thinking
be
we only might
best-
have one shot at this.
It would probably be best if only one person held it, and probably whoever thinks that they can maintain focus and keep a clear head.
For how long?
However long we're gonna need.
Okay.
I mean, hopefully not too long. But who knows what'll happen when we get to that wall? I
All right.
suppose.
So those of
Um,
us who do meditation need to like start practicing, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Actually, I do have a question about that, Dekus. We've been talking about will in an abstract and not particularly practical sense, if I'm using the right words.
It is a little abstract.
Is there a difference in this conversation between learnedness and will, or intellect and will?
Yeah, very much so.
Oh, I would
In
think so,
fact,
right?
I
Like it
would
comes from a different place even in your body.
not to sound full of myself, but I would say I'm probably a bad candidate to hold this thing, because I just can't stop thinking about other stuff while I'm trying to do this.
Oh dear. Yes, you're right.
I hold on to one of these fragments and I start transforming it around and shifting it, and it works for a little bit, and then I think, oh, what if I could do this or that, and then it poof. Um, it's hard. You have to. When I say a clear head, I mean that you need to, I think, be empty, but for your intention.
Yeah. Okay.
The last thing in the world we want is for one of us to go in there, up to that wall, and halfway through start thinking, gosh, I sure hope a dragon doesn't show up right now.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Thank you for the sound effects.
Well, so yeah, so
Yeah, that would be bad. Okay, well, thank
Yeah.
you. I think you answered my question, but it kind of sounds like we definitely have some practice to do along the way because some of these things are theoretical and not practical at all yet.
Have you been able
Right.
to make anything that remains permanent? You only change it to tell it to remain permanent or permanent.
I was just thinking of the same thing, but maybe through a different method, like having the thing turn into something that can make something else. Like I was
Well-
just thinking of, could I turn it into like a colony of bees to collect honey or pollen or something like that? Make a product for me out of the world.
Well, unfortunately, I've only been able to, using these small fragments, do little shapes and twists and whatnot, and I admittedly haven't been successful at keeping it stable long enough to do much more than that. I would encourage you to try all of these things on the way up to Chose. We might find something out while we're on our way, and we can, if we find out something new or dangerous, we can always rethink our plans. I think we have a little bit of time. That's a good idea, Montlarin.
I'm very curious to see if it behaves differently than the horn.
Yeah. Yeah, we need that, and we need a plan for you said we're going to go to Orissa's Tower. So we have the trek from there from Orvis to the tower, and then from the tower to Chose. So we've got some time that we can practice. But
Right.
if we get to somewhere near Chose, what's the plan if there's a catastrophic failure and we need to run? Like all the way back to Orissa's Tower? Or we need to have those kinds of contingency plans in place, so and way ahead of time, so that they're not cluttering our minds when we're actually practicing or
Right.
actually
Extremely
doing this
astute.
thing.
Um,
So those are the kinds of things that I look at, is like, okay, do we have a plan for this and a plan for that? We got supplies, we got this, good, done. And now I can let go of all of that crap, so it's not in my mind.
yes, you're completely correct.
Okay. All right. So we can all work on that then.
And I will be certain to. I would of course like to join you.
I think I would be really worried if you didn't.
Don't worry. At the very least, I can take exhaustive notes.
Ooh, I actually had a really good idea. Can I?
All right, let's hear it.
I want to channel a spell through it.
Like, use it as a ordinary focus.
I want to use it as an ordinary focus, but to make a mage hand. A mage
Well,
hand with supposed limitless potential for, like, I don't know, punching through a glass wall, or like, you know, maybe, you know, fingering through it or something like that. And Alvis Tavern makes a violent stabbing gesture. You've been talking about focusing stuff, and I'm like, we already have a spell here that even gives shape to something that could make it easier for us.
Well, like I said, we can't use the staff right now, but some people use unicorn horns as wands. I haven't actually tried it as such yet. Uh, I'm a little. The problem is we can't get another one of these.
Right.
Perhaps that's best if you try it on one of the larger fragments on our way up. Properties are mostly the same, from what I can tell. It just seems to be a little less stable.
In the off time, while I'm working with them, anything we've got in our library about items of protection, I would be starting to kind of read a lot.
Did you have anything specific in mind?
Yeah, particularly how to make uh, a ring or another piece of jewelry that grants protection.
Got it. The
Besides the bubble?
Mhm.
Okay.
The information you're able to find here, honestly, you'll probably be able to get more from Dex than from a book, since most of the stuff that is written in a book is more along the lines of this sort of thing exists, and these sort of people are uh, have been known to use this sort of item. Um, Not really anything in the way of instructions.
I see. Yeah, I would try to get Dex
Um,
during breaks or otherwise when we're figure out as much as I can. If he's got any material he can write down or other sorts of things or
yeah, he
reagents.
says, well,
But
well, if it was easy to get, everybody would have one, I suppose. But if you're talking about protective rings or similar garb, usually what I've heard done uh, is uh, they have they I don't know who they is in this case, but there's metals that you can get on other planes, and that is a little bit in my wheelhouse. Very hard to find here, uh, but you can get, for example, orichalcum. Uh, can find it in minuscule quantities on the material plane, but is a little bit more common if you were to visit the elemental plane of Earth.
I think I saw a piece at a fair one time. It was the indestructible pebble. People try to hammer Larry, because then the people were charged for hammer. It was a real racket, honestly.
Well, it could have been a pebble of orichalcum. It could have been an enchanted pebble too.
Uh, someone who knows very, very well about this did, inform me. Yes,
uh,
so it wasn't just some little, carnival trick. It was the real deal. Probably nothing anyone would want to actually there, risk breaking, get smashed against it, that would actually build break.
Well, in any case, Pebble's worth, yes, is about what you might find around these parts. If you wanted to get enough to, make a ring out of, um, you'd have to get very lucky or go digging in some very specific spots in otherworldly zones. And that sort of thing, that sort of metal, you'd be able to, um, more readily than any other, attune to something like uh, defense against thunder or acid, uh, sorts of effects on you. I've heard of different ways to do the imbuement process. Supposedly, if you just leave something in a place of power long enough, it'll take on the properties of that place and can confer some benefits, or, occasionally curses. Other times, you might be able to take it to a more specifically magical sort of entity and have them throw it into a forge. I'm talking about uh, going and talking to the people who live on those other planes, which is never a safe prospect.
Generally,
You saying no forge on our plane could melt down? Or
it could melt it, but if you're looking for an enchantment, um, well, the other option is figure out a ritual that can emulate the same thing here that they do over there.
Well, you
Uh,
see, what I was thinking is that since there's so little orichalcum, like say we did have a pebble or something like that, wouldn't it be best to like melt it down and try to crystallize it or something like that?
hmm. If I had a pebble of orichalcum, what I'd probably do with it is, actually, I heard a couple years ago over in Halcyon did a um, they did a ritual involving a bit of orichalcum to open a permanent planar portal to a certain area in the plane of Earth.
We need to get more orichalcum, right?
Uh, from what I hear, they were pretty interested in all sorts of other riches alongside that. But yes, now,
I mean, it would be a waste otherwise.
right. Well, you can supposedly. I've never actually been there myself, but you can supposedly, from what I've read in the news, um, just imagine that every rare and precious metal around these parts is as common as coal or iron up here.
That sounds fun. Great way to crash the markets.
I think that was sort of the idea. Yes. There was a bit of a scuffle in that region over the whole business. Um,
Now tourists are only like allowed to take a pocketful.
well, I don't think they let tourists in at all.
Oh,
Yeah, these things are government sanctioned and locked down tight for only a few people.
oh. And there goes my idea of using an orichalcum lens in order to make like a laser sword.
It's metal. I don't think you can send light through it.
Turn it into a crystal, you can send light through it.
Hmm.
We got magic, and we got dwarves. I've seen dwarves turn metal into crystals.
They're also very good at just mining them.
Exactly.
No,
Let's get ourselves some dwarves.
yeah.
No offense to you, Amber Green, but you seem to have taken up a different profession.
I suppose the other thing I'd be wondering is looking to, it might be probably necromancy, about communicating with something, especially across plane, a powerful part of
There is the contact other plane spell.
would be a
Uh,
little more
which
specific. I suppose I kind of want to see if I can make the piece that I experiment with a ring that will allow the wearer to, you know, reach out and communicate with unicorn feedback.
I see. Um,
Why?
well, it's an interesting thought.
It is, but I'm curious about what motivates it.
Um, it would give us an opportunity to get feel guided every. I know what we've done with the gift we were granted.
I have heard of some folks applying a material component to that particular spell in order to sort of focus their uh, signal, so to speak. So perhaps if you had pieces of this unicorn, I could teach you the spell. I don't use it very often. Fortunately, have not had need to, but on occasion, it's a fairly mentally taxing spell and carries some risk depending on where you are reaching out there. Um, but yes, I could give you a little guidance on how that spell is done. Uh, ca are you able to on a scale of 1 to 9? What tier of spells would you say you're capable of casting?
Um, I'm able to successfully cast those fourth scale.
Okay, so this one might take you a little practice then. But uh, I can once you get to that point, I can help you, and perhaps on the way to Shoze, you can turn some of these unicorn bits, and perhaps try turning them into a ring or something that you like, and hold on to it. It may help you with that.
I I think if anything, I would give the ring because I think he would be able to have the best ability to communicate with her.
Oh, Montlarin, can you cast Contact Other Plane? That's pretty high tier for a paladin.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I am not capable of that.
That's true. You're right. Well, would be it would
I
be
think it does work more like telepathy, so a language barrier shouldn't be too much of an issue.
that's all right. Well, that's definitely consider. Yeah. It'll, that'll probably happen.
Yeah, well, the manual itself is a pretty short ordeal. More of a index card, really, that comes with the staff. Um, but yeah, the deal is focus hard and empty your mind and uh, make sure you know what you want. Really,
I see.
want it more than anything else, perhaps. Want only it.
Oh my god, I have a beautiful idea. You have to let me try it on the wall when we get there.
Okay. I've got some. Right.
I want to turn it into a mountain of gold dust.
Oh my god.
No. No.
Yes!
No, no, that will destroy the economy.
Not
Not
to
only
mention our
that,
lungs.
we'd have to
Good
figure out a
lord.
way to shovel it away. Because then we have to climb a freaking mountain of dust instead of getting through a glass wall.
It'll be okay. Some of it will blow away. It'll be fun.
Oh, I'm sure a dragon or other intelligent creature flying overhead
Right?
or patrolling otherwise will see it. Will all be ordered to gather. So you do that, dragon all over.
What else are you gonna do with it?
We're going to march to the tower.
No,
I mean, there's a
I
reason
mean
why
the
we're
wall.
actually
No,
taking
of
down the
course,
wall.
Of course, yes. But what do you
Oh,
do with the wall?
my
Like,
plan,
This
if
is part of the plan. We have to focus on what happens to the wall. If I
right.
find gold dust, that's at least a gentle fall of something super valuable to me.
Gold is very heavy.
It is.
So if I turn out to be the one most facile with the willow wand, my intention is to imagine a portcullis in the wall at whatever crossing we choose, large enough for a company of men to pass through.
That portcullis could essentially be made out of a, gathering of gold dust, right?
That would not be very useful. No, I was imagining to keep it seamless as part of the glass.
Yeah, but what happens to the mass?
That's not the issue.
It is the issue.
No,
Montlarn
we're
No,
not
because we can
transmuting.
violate the rules. Yeah,
Montlarn says no to the mass.
correct.
It's gonna make it go away, vanish, destroy an object.
Punch a hole in it.
It won't exist.
It's just
You
no.
could turn it into something useful.
Because this is not about transmuting. This is about no.
I know. I'm not. I don't want to take the risk. Every time our tests so far have attempted something like that, they failed. Isn't that right, Decus?
To be quite honest, I haven't been able to maintain a effect long enough to attempt transmuting other objects with them. But I have a couple of times said, turn this fragment to gold, and was not able to make that happen at all. So I think there's something to the the bone-like unicorn fragment piece is a key ingredient here.
Right.
Yeah, the way that the instruction that we were given is not about transmuting or changing from one thing to another. It was about no.
I wouldn't rule out the possibility of.
Look, I'm not the smartest man. That's true. But I still think that maybe that's an advantage here, right? If we can make the attempt as simple as possible, isn't it more likely to succeed? And if we succeed, we can experiment further after that.
I do agree with that.
I agree with simplicity.
I would say I wouldn't rule out the ability to transmute, and I'm certainly optimistic about trying it on the way. But yes, for the live show, simple.
Huh. Now is Elvis Taver intelligent enough to make the argument that, nothingness isn't a simple concept?
Perhaps.
I don't know. He only has a +2 to his intelligence, and I like to think that is I like to think that's a higher order thought. Like, 14 intelligence is above average, but
okay. So the
Only just.
so you as the player have a higher than +2 is what you're telling us right now.
Why do you have to go there, bro? That just makes it way more egotistical than it has to be. But I mean, sure, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what the D&D character sheet says on that quiz that I take. You can obviously believe that, right?
Right, yeah, the internet, the funquizzes.com.
The one specifically about what D&D character you are.
Yeah. Where like the minimum score is a 10.
Well, yeah, unless you're really bad.
Yeah.
Well, because you got to be heroic.
Right.
Well, 10 is average, right?
10 is average, which means the worst. Yeah.
Yes. Maybe. In this because it's Dungeons and Dragons. Exactly. Right? I mean, at least Montlarin, you could take the glass and move it somewhere. I think total obliteration is a bit much. We got a lot of
I admit it's a theory, and again, I'm not the smartest person here, but I think no is as simple as we can get.
That is a very short sentence.
No or not. Yeah, no, it's a good point. Oh, what about jelly?
I mean, I'm gonna not focus on that thought if it's me, but I mean, at least
you're filling his mind with you're filling his mind with lack of focus, Elvis Taver.
I'm just I don't like a wasted opportunity. I just okay.
You can rule that one out on the way. You can just try it, and if it works, then that's something we can consider, right?
Mountain of salmon roe.
God.
Oh my god, that would be horrifying.
Right?
Yeah, after about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Pew.
And then when the Redshift comes,
oh man,
they might all hatch.
Oh.
That was part of my reasoning there. But in deeper thought, what like if no is the simplest thought and this seems to work? There's some huge potential for that. Like, what if you just know the Redshift?
Well,
right.
Yeah.
That's part of what we're doing here, is testing that out.
Dex says if what the unicorn said is true, or what he thought is true, and the Redshift is the will of some thing or person, and it put that wall there. It's obviously not man-made. Then, if this works, then we prove it. Then yeah, we can. I mean, like I said before, I suppose I already sort of proved it with the obelisks. Just didn't realize it yet. I didn't realize what I was doing.
We'll see what we come up with along the way. With everyone going to try practicing a different.
Yes, that's a good idea. We have a few days, so I'll make all the preparations. You all take the time that you need. Relax and eat a hot meal. We're gonna be on the road. So we'll make sure to get a well, I guess we'll be going lizards then horses. Maybe lizards then on foot.
Well, we have our magical means of transportation.
That's right. All right, we'll do that.
I suppose one other thing that something throughout my entire week training. I think
The Philosopher's Stone? Okay. That was a good guess.
one thing that I've made.
A family?
No,
Oh.
my family's great. They're busy all.
The friends you made along the way.
They're cool, but I don't think I need Ben Riel. Need to help.
Oh, a tower. You would be a very important person if you had a tower.
Marching powder.
No, I said a tower.
No, I know. I said marching powder.
Oh, okay. But I mean, he would be a very important person if he had a tower.
Indeed.
No, that's not the kind of strength.
Not a wizard's tower? I thought all you wizards went for that.
I'm not going to be living in a tower when I'm done here. I'm going back home. Going to be some interesting stuff. I'm not sure where I'm actually going to end up place, but
Especially as a storm caller, wouldn't your tower fly with you? Like it's a wizard tower.
I'm probably going to be somewhere underwater mode.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I was surprised when I didn't see Decus had a tower, but I mean he's a golem, so maybe like flooring is an issue on multiple levels.
Decus is not a golem.
I mean, I meant Goliath.
Is Decus insulted yet?
I meant Goliath. I did not mean Goliath. No.
Too funny.
Yes, I look like marble. Very, very nice. I do have a tower back in the capital, but I spend most of my time in the university.
It doesn't fly?
No, but that's a pretty neat idea. Sounds a little dangerous.
What do you mean?
It's probably like a proverb about this one, but I haven't heard it.
Flying towers bring wizard powers?
Well, there was a play about it from the yeah.
Anyway, if you're looking for a shortcut to strength, well, I don't have it on hand, but could I interest you in a Goliath-shaped polymorph?
What would that?
Well, that would be you turn into a Goliath. Good. I at certain tiers of mastery, this can be made permanent. Although
You see how the tall people conspire to make you taller? Nimbus?
No,
The dwarves never
I-
conspired to change your shape.
I appreciate the inquiry. That would actually be decent. It's the sort of thing my friends back pretty well see through. They know his
If anything-
personality and nuance. Even his voice was different. They know.
If anything, I'd want to make myself shorter.
So then Albus for you would be perhaps a kobold?
No! God, no!
No, I think Soriana is taller than you, actually.
No, I would just want to be like the buffest gnome that I could ever be. Joe Gnome. Joe Gnome Joestar.
I don't know if transmutation is the route. I think I know. I need to focus.
All right. Then.
Everybody knows that a person shorter of equal muscle mass to a person who's tall is technically stronger than the tall person. All I need is equal muscle mass to you. Points up at the Goliath.
Well, sure. I guess.
It's not all in the height.
No, I think
2.5
really a
muscle.
lot of it is just having the really big hands because I can get a good grip on things and lift them more easily. If I'm being totally honest with you.
You know, I did see this picture called the homunculus one time. I forgot what it was about. But to have hands the size of that guy's hands would be pretty nice.
Lauren could maybe let you borrow those gloves for a day.
They would make everything else seem smaller, though.
Yeah. Want you just like pat him on the head, but it's massive.
But no. If I'm going to be practicing with this here unicorn willow wand, I guess is what we're going with. I think I'm going to be making gold. Sand, gold, jelly. Gold jelly. Yeah, I like that.
All right. Well, I will.
Jellified
Plenty of rocks to pick up on the way. But I'll make sure to pack some glass too. And we'll bring all of these. All right. Yeah. So I guess the only thing left is get ready.
Yep. Well, doesn't take me long.
I'm ready.
Ready.
Yep.
Ready.
And a few days later, we're ready to go. So today, it's everybody plus Dex and Brigadier Demira.
Whoa. She's actually coming out.
Because I can't go out and about too much, but I'm not so invalid that I can't ride a horse. So don't worry.
It's too bad that you can't see Demura's first lookout.
My what?
On the map, see? And then Alvis Taver, with the help of Montlarin, gets, on the second saddle of, the Brigadier's horse and shows her the map.
No, you need to erase that. I haven't even been there.
Exactly. That's why you should go.
I mean, the maps were approved months ago at this point.
Uh-huh. They've already been sent out. Do you know how many drafts I make? It's part of, trying to build up promotion, to get more people to to come here is, serial maps.
Is there even anything there?
Yeah, it's a nice lookout location.
Yeah, we
Real
camped
pretty.
here.
You were able to see all of the Flower Sea from up there. Most of the swamp up to the north. Not swamp. Was that swamp up to the Northland up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, most of that swamp was revealed because of that lookout point.
Well, if you already sent it out, there's nothing I can do now, I suppose.
I mean, I even named the islands after Van.
That's up to him. I have no business saying yes or no to his name on things.
They're called the Vanarax. I thought he would be, pretty happy to know that there are sea monsters living in his own islet. Islet.
He probably would be, yeah.
Kind of wanted to, convince him to come over if he had enough time, just to help with that. Maybe, he could sustain peaceful relationships, keep the place interesting.
I suppose he doesn't need a boat. That might work out for the best, actually.
What'd you name your horse? It's a fine horse.
These
You're such a
are
good horse.
temporary horses, so I think I'd prefer not to name it.
Oh.
Do you
don't
name
have-
your temporary horse?
No. I just didn't figure that the Brigadier would ride a temporary horse. I was expecting
I thought that was the plan.
I thought maybe a Bucephalus or something.
Also, the horses don't make it through the swamp too great, even with the couple of roads. It's still pretty slow going.
I mean, we're still using water walking.
Right.
Do you have a horse at home?
Yes. Well, I did, and not really since coming out here. It's more whatever's available, you know.
Of course, but horses are long-lived,
Yeah. I don't really quite know what's been going on back home. I mean, at my home specifically for the past few years. That's okay.
You don't get news from the mainland?
Oh no, I do. I just mean for me specifically.
Ah,
There's not a lot of news to bring, and that's fine. I came all the way out here for a reason anyway.
oh,
Yeah, it's better than being stuck all the way back there.
nothing much going on. Couldn't advance in the career so much.
More or less, yeah. This was a good way to get some people off my back, you know?
Ooh, interesting. Dark and mysterious past.
It's not all that much.
I don't know. I could probably make up some pretty good stuff just by looking at you. You beat up some mob bosses, who were threatening a bunch of, young orphans, trying to sell them drugs or something. Ultimately, enemies in high places, but your courageous but stern, outlook on life kept you from going corrupt like everyone else.
I think Smithy counts as that one.
Whoa. I mean, I guess I could see that too.
All right, surely that wasn't your only theory.
Oh no, absolutely. There could be more. There could be more. Maybe, perhaps, but this is the one worst off for me. You were inspired by some perhaps awesome general or rear admiral who just was like the best of the best of the best of the best of the best, and then like something bad happened, and now you're here in order to like you know get grief off of their back, but also your back.
Hmm. No, Dex actually asked me to help him with this back back then. It was sort of a, you know, over lunch sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Secret princess, soldier in exile.
No.
No, no, not highborn. Do I look like an ASMR to you? Do not answer that. I will whip the horse you're riding.
I'm riding your horse. Remember?
Oh god.
Montlarin put me on the horse in order to help me show you the map.
All right. So, are we actually experimenting? Or I guess, are we doing the rolls to travel, or do
Well,
we make the trip?
you'll make the trip quickly and safely on the charted path. But yeah, we can do as you're kind of moving along and you know, taking a rest stop every now and then and camping out. Um
While other
take a
people
couple of hours here and there.
test, I want to just sit back and investigate the deterioration of the individual bits of unicorn horn. I just want to see like what happens to them before, after, and during their use.
Okay. Why doesn't everybody one at a time? You know what? Let's roll initiative for this. So please go ahead and do that.
Oh, I need to select my token.
Yeah, they're all the way at the bottom in the water.
There goes my high roll for the night.
Nicely done. Well, all right, Alvis. If you're not doing anything, then we can skip your turn. So I guess Naya's up first. What do you want to try to do with it? And then we can, do some rolls to make it happen.
Give me something to investigate.
Okay, so
Nimbus, don't forget to turn off initiative or advantage.
Oh yeah, turn it off.
I think I want to try something similar to Montlaren's concept for the glass wall.
Okay.
So what have we got for stuff? We got rocks.
Well,
we got what have we got? We got any glass?
Dex has brought some glass. And your other alternatives are basically whatever you can find out here in the wilderness. Basically, just pick up whatever you want: a rock, a log, a bug, if you want.
No,
Plenty
I
of
don't want to
options.
know a bug. Okay, so she's going to pick up a rock about the size of a fist, a human
Yeah,
fist. Okay, so it's not too big, it's not too small.
Yeah. It's a medium rock.
And what she wants to have happen is going to be, let's say it's slightly, I mean, it's going to be a weird shape anyway, because it's not, you know, it's just a rock. But let's say it's a little bit longer than it is wider. Okay.
Sure.
And for the purpose of this experiment, she wants to know a section of the rock through the center so that it becomes basically a big bead with a hole in it.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm not turning the rock into a bead, but I
No,
want to
yeah,
know this core of the rock.
removing some content. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so you have Dex has also brought a handful of batteries. Now you do only have a few tries on the. He's
Right.
told you that like really a single use will drain about half a charge, which is a lot.
Right.
So you guys probably have about 2 attempts at this each. He has stockpiled a good handful of batteries, but they don't have that many to go around. Um, so he's brought as many extras as he can afford to. But he's still saving 2 for the spear. So basically, it's going to be 1 each for the rest of you. So you'll get 2 tries. So, uh, yeah, basically this will be try number 1 for you, Naya. Now he has given you a contraption that you can connect. It's the same contraption he was using originally, which is like a little box that you can hook the battery into, and then it has sort of a tuning fork at the end of it that you can poke the unicorn horn with.
Okay.
And you can sort of use that as sort of a wand to kind of transmit the magic and then deliver it to the horn and then do the thing that you want.
So between the wand and the rock, is there anything but space? What I'm
Well,
asking is the wand pointing at the rock? Is it touching the rock? Is it projecting
you'll have
at
to
the
do
rock?
something with the horn fragment.
Okay. Is it used kind of like I have a piece of, I don't remember what kind of wood it is, that I use as a focus for my spells? Is it
Uh,
similar?
it's more interactive than that. You might think of using it like deliver the energy into the unicorn horn and then use the horn to do the thing that you want.
Okay. Do I need to have the horn piece touching the rock?
You're not sure. Do
Did you
want it
have to when you did it?
Dex says I haven't actually tried transmuting anything yet. I've
Well, I'm
only
not trying to transmute. I'm trying to
well
know.
I haven't done that yet. I've
Oh.
only manipulated the horn piece itself, unfortunately.
Oh, good. Okay.
So go on. This
is tricky. Okay. So Naya's gonna.
I'm not gonna give you advice because this is your. You have to make the decision.
All right. So she's gonna. She says, "Give me a couple of minutes." She picks up. She's handed a piece of the unicorn horn.
Yeah,
Okay.
and these are all pretty small pieces.
Yeah, they're
Like,
little. It's a little fragment, right?
the biggest one the biggest one of the bunch is probably like a little 4-inch
Yeah. So she's looking at
cylinder.
like a 1-inch piece of something.
Yeah.
Piece of fragment of unicorn horn. But she's gonna go walk over there where there's no talking and
Okay.
and stuff, so that she can kind of see if she feels something with the horn. Like create a connection if it's possible or something. Since we're winging it. She's a druid, so she's touchy-feely on stuff.
Yeah.
And so she's gonna go take a couple of minutes and walk over there. And over there is something. I don't know what. a meadow or a rock
Okay.
face or something.
Once you've tried to emotionally connect with this object, what will Naya do?
Well, she tried to connect in all of the conceptual ways that she knew, emotionally, mentally, intellectually, and none of that really worked. It didn't do anything. But when she held it, just held it in her hand and was still with it, she felt something. And she can't really describe it, but she felt something.
Yeah, there's definitely a property about this object
Right,
that
but
is
she doesn't have words for that right now. Like
no, it
to
would be
describe
difficult
what or how or
to do
or
that.
any of that. It's not the same as thinking. It's like an energetic connection. So she didn't she would like to have more time, but for the purpose of this experiment, she feels like she connected at least briefly with something. And so she will try to do that again with the little rock. And we'll see what happens. And we're all winging it here. Is there anything else I got to do?
Make me a persuasion roll.
Oh, persuasion, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. And I even have 3 points in that.
All right. Yeah. So this connection that you've established with this item, for you, it's sort of holding the thing, trying to focus on that connection, and trying to focus on uh rejecting this rock. Um, there is there's a snap, like a sharp contact spark between you and the horn piece, and it hurts. It's like ow. And when you look back at it away from the stone, you just see dust.
Bummer. Okay,
So
next.
if you bring that back to Dex, he'll say it takes a little bit of practice. Same thing happened to me in my first try.
Okay.
Were you trying to focus on too many things?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I was trying to focus on the connection with the unicorn horn.
Hmm.
And then once that was established, focusing on what I wanted, the no in the core of that rock. But maybe I was trying to make a change instead of just a no.
I tried to think of the horn piece as the same way I think of my wand or my familiar. But that's how I'm used to casting. Perhaps for you, whatever way you're used to is what you should go for. You can try it again by the time we get to the tower.
Yeah, that's fine. Let somebody else give it a shot. See
All right,
what
Mom
they.
Lauren, you're up. What are you going to try to do?
All right. I want to work with a piece of glass, I think, if that's acceptable.
Yeah. There's a few, a handful of small panes available.
Okay. In that case, setting up a physical connection between glass fragment and horn and my
Yeah.
hand. I want to do basically the same thing I do when I trance, except as I do, I want to keep the thought in my mind that this piece of glass is hollow. It is not solid. Absolutely not. That isn't real. What is real is that it is hollow.
Okay. Okay, so you have the bit on top of the glass, you have your hand on the bit, and then you have the power device.
Right.
Okay. Um okay. Yeah, let's see a persuasion roll from you.
Oh yeah, high rollers are out tonight.
Yeah, right.
Um Montlauren, there's a vibration under your hand, and a feeling of being like pricked with a needle. You pull away just in time to see the horn fragment burrowing into the glass and spreading out inside it.
Huh.
And after a moment, it's too much to contain, and it um, shatters the glass. The glass falls to the ground. The whole thing explodes. But for a second there, it technically was hollow, in that the insides of it were devoured.
Right. Forcibly removed. Okay.
Yeah. You don't think that's quite the way you were intending that to happen.
No, definitely not. But it's interesting. It implies that I'm at least able to describe what I want, however crudely.
Can I look at those two
Start.
fragments that have been
Excellent.
used?
Naya's is dust, and Montlauren's is in 100 more itty bitty fragments all over the dirt.
But you can
But
have
yes.
them. Here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I'll gather those up. It's okay. Interesting.
Do you want to do anything particular with them?
Huh. Well, I guess they do. It is unicorn horn, right? Yeah.
It is. If there was like a impure version of a unicorn horn, it's this.
Ah.
It's
Well,
it's like the closest you can get to it without being the real thing.
huh. I kind of want
The line
to give this.
approaches infinity.
I want to give this to Decus and say that this might be the stuff to practice transmutation on. Like maybe you could change this stuff.
It says maybe. I suppose if we have enough of it. Yeah, we can keep it all gathered up, and once we get to the tower, perhaps once we have a bunch of it, we can try turning it into something. See if that'll work anyway.
I do want to. I want to try casting my mage hand through this, though. This seems like a good idea. It seems like the unicorn horn bits, though, they become compromised after they're used just once.
I haven't been able to use one more than once, indeed. They tend to erupt.
That's a shame.
Well, I'm hoping the same doesn't happen to the real thing. And I'm hoping The only reason this is happening to these pieces is because they're a product of the Redshift on their own. But there's not really any way to tell till we try.
I hear. Yeah. No, I want to. I want a piece of glass and a bit of unicorn horn, and what I'm trying to do is cast Mage Hand through the unicorn horn to establish that kind of focus, and then through the finger of the Mage Hand or the unicorn Mage Hand, I want to have it point, or not just point, but like touch the surface of the glass and say that this isn't glass, this is gold.
Okay. I want you to make an Arcana, then a Persuasion check.
Oh, piss.
Oh no.
Oh, double piss.
Oh. Okay.
This is not working.
You cast Mage Hand, and the hand pops out, and for a moment, it does exactly what you expect it to do. And I assume you have this glass like propped up against a rock or something, or a tree.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So you're aiming at this glass. All right, and also I have a question. Albus Tavern, do you wear anything that's made of gold?
I mean, Morio stuff, isn't it?
It's gold colored.
Okay, so that's it.
Okay.
All of my jewelry
okay.
is silver because that would be gauche.
Got it. Yeah,
If it was
you
gold.
don't have gold jewelry.
Well,
okay,
gold jewelry is also super gauche. That's like out of style.
Fair. Okay, so your bandana is gold colored, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So your mage hand starts behaving in a way you're not used to. And you notice that as the fingers flex in a way which would break the bones of any gnome,
Ow!
it has flipped upside down and is pointing at you instead of the glass, and you no longer have control of this mage hand.
Oh.
And before you know it, it has grabbed your bandana. And you need to wrestle with it for a second before it fades.
Oh, guys, did you see that?
I did in fact see that, yes.
It tried to strangle me.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts.
Hey, Dex has his notepad, he writes it down. But your fragment is intact.
Whoa, it is. Is it?
It is. Although, you think you see a hairline crack running through the middle.
Huh. Interesting. I wonder if spells are some kind of focus. So I definitely don't think I did the best that I could have done there, and maybe somebody more studied in Arcana, could do better. That's what I've got out of that. Likewise, I think
It's a good thing it was just a mage hand you tried. We're experimenting with dangerous properties here.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. I think it was going after the gold in my clothing.
Is that what you told it to do?
I told it no. So I told it that the glass wasn't glass but gold. I was trying to go off of Montlaren's sort of stoic telling it what to do, but honestly, I think on my second go around, after some of my other friends have a test, I think I'm going to tell it to make it into gold this time, or next time.
Right, and try real transmutation.
Yeah. Instead,
Yeah.
because this wasn't physically. I don't think this was a possible. My request. It was like a denial of reality. And I saw the thing dig through the glass before, so maybe the unicorn has to, persist some effort.
You should try telling the mage hand it's gold.
Oh, that's interesting.
All right. Well, while you think about that, Amber Green, you're up next. I've got my pencil at the ready, and here's your supplies. What are you gonna do? Yeah, give it a try.
Yeah. Okay. So I can take a piece of glass and like set it up so that can be my target.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I have the unicorn horn and the rod and the power source, right?
You have the horn fragment, and you have the little power box that can generate a current effectively.
Is there some way I can incorporate that into my flute so that I can I'm going to play the note that unmakes the glass.
You're gonna go high pitched, or are you gonna break the mold and go low pitch?
I'm going to use my best kind of sense. I'll probably do like a sweep until I find the sweet, until I feel the sweet note, and then I'll hit that one.
Good answer.
It says bards are a little bit difficult. I've always had, well, I'm not musically inclined myself, I can't hold a tune to save my life, rather.
I think
But
you were difficult.
what?
Nothing.
But I sort of get the theory of it. And he's talking to you, Amber Green, and he says,
Yeah, I hear you.
what you really need is the power source, right? And then deliver that through the horn fragment. So perhaps you could tap into the box with your musical inclination, and then sort of channel that through your music as you normally do, from what you normally tap into, whether the world or yourself, and then through the horn, and then to where you want it to go. Again, talking theory here. You're the one who has to do it.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'll try to do. And it's far less dangerous than some of the other things I could do, such as I'll try to make a permanent dimension door there, or a polymorph.
Yeah, that would be scary. Go ahead and make that a performance, then a persuasion.
Okay, performance first. Bah.
Ooh.
Persuasion. God, I can't roll for shit.
Well, and we're all in the same boat.
I had +4 on both of those.
Yeah, I mean,
Good to get it out.
we're doing a whole shit roll thing right now.
So,
I really hate online dice.
like Dex said, you took on the suggestion and tried drawing up and out the power out of the battery with your music, as you normally do, right?
Absolutely.
From whatever source. And you tried drilling that into the horn. I want you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no.
Oh, found it. Hold on. You see, that's why I switched dice.
Okay, nice.
Ew, that was a stinker. Almost made me sick.
You take half of that in radiant damage.
Damn.
Damn.
You feel that you have failed to deliver the proper power from the proper source, and you accidentally allowed the horn fragment to tap into your own power. And if you had not been able to shut that valve quickly enough,
Yeah, it was just gonna suck me dry.
you could have had a bad time.
Yeah, 21 hit points is kind of a bad time.
Yeah, so take 10 radiant because you saved.
Yeah.
I took 11.
It'll round down, but whatever you want. You're gonna get a long rest at the tower anyway. Ow.
Yeah,
There was a small explosion as well, and your horn fragment was also vaporized.
I collect that dust like a junkie in the club.
He just dives in to get it while the dwarf is reeling in pain.
We got medical triage. That's not my specialty, man.
He's so blasé.
Your medical triage just exploded, but yeah.
right.
No, Lauren is the secondary in the triage.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, I see. I have the EOT. God.
Yeah, we got Amber Green, Montlarin, and Narya. Or Naya.
Narya.
I don't know where the R came from. I don't know where the R came from. Naya. The triage. The triage.
Narya's theme song is da da
The Trinity of
da
Hero.
da.
Don't get us DMCA'd.
I think I was reading something else.
All right. Well, Dex says, "Okay, well that's good information at least." Writing that one down. All right, Nimbus, your turn. What are you going to do?
I mean, he's a wizard. He's going to do something smart.
Hopefully.
Well, I think we know that it can do something to glass, that it can worm its way in and shatter. But I'm kind of wondering about other ways of exerting one's back. I'm not kind of wondering, completely certain. That's basically renouncing the way of the rocket.
Good. Okay, certainty is what I like to hear.
You're going to make the rock in your hand weightless?
How specifically are you going to
I'm not changing
activate?
the material property of
Yeah.
the rock. I'm simply rejecting that it has any weight whatsoever.
Okay.
So-
and mechanically, how are the pieces being held?
I would
Fine.
be holding the scepter, likely.
Not the scepter, you have a box.
Oh, the box.
Yeah. You have a box with basically a fork attached that can poke things.
A box. Okay. Right.
Let me here, I'll draw you a nice picture of it.
Sure.
All right. So here's your little box. There's a battery plugged into it. And then you've got the fork that can deliver the charge.
Okay.
That's the prototype, but it works just as well as the staff. It's
Right.
the same mechanics, just in a less convenient form factor.
So it would be basically rock, then fragment than one.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Give it a persuasion check.
Oh man.
Just persuasion.
Yep. Okay.
We are actually at 100% on crap rolls. That's all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've ever done that before.
Totally.
This is emergent storytelling. You have the rock in your hand. You wish for it to become weightless. You tell it to become weightless. You normally wear a hood or a hat or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your hood is blown away as the rock leaves your hand at a speed faster than you can see. And if you look up in time, you will see it going up.
Oh, it's just going up?
It is going it no
I want to
longer
get out of the way.
Oh, it's already gone. It's
I mean, in case it comes back down.
perhaps by now left the atmosphere and maybe soon the crystal sphere.
Oh.
Damn.
Ah,
Before
Yeah, no,
Albus Tavern could even jump, your hat went away.
Oh no, no, just the rock went away. It blew
Oh,
his
just
hood.
the rock.
It blew his hood away though.
Oh, wow.
All right. I.
Hand you your hood back.
Oh no, it's
Dex,
attached. Clothes. Got flopped back real hard.
Oh, then I
Dex,
yanked on your clothes really hard. Attempt to grab your hood.
Dex says, "Well, I think you canceled out gravity somehow."
Yeah, that wasn't actually a bad result. I'm think about the results there.
So wait. Normally, whenever somebody drops somebody, I say good news, gravity works. What do I say here?
Good news, it didn't work.
Good news, gravity works except when you turn it off. The planet is still spinning. Okay. You know what? I wonder if I actually just made it stationary and the universe around it.
What?
Oh, this will take some explanation. I'll tell you later.
A single point in the universe? And the universe is moving around. Do you know what kind of things that rock could do?
Yes. No, I understand. Laugh now and hope it doesn't, tear a hole through anything later. But again, things are all in motion. It could get swept up some other way.
I swear
Just a
someone's
rock.
going to come down here.
For all I know, it's already dissolved.
No, good point. I mean, you didn't cancel out friction, hopefully.
Nope.
I mean, it has no mass, though. Does that have anything to do with the... No, it doesn't.
Oh, no, it still has, well, I guess it doesn't have mass, but it's different than just not having. You'd be dizzy.
I kid.
I was about to fill a bucket with water and put it on a rope and get around. All right. Well,
Finally,
hey.
the brigadier says, don't I get a turn?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I wonder if we just sent the entire glass wall into space like that. That might actually not be a bad strategy.
Oh my god.
Whatever works.
Dex says, I think we have a responsibility to the well-being of the planet to a certain degree. But we'll again think about that when we get there. Please,
It'd be a
Lieutenant.
problem if the planet was going to be in the same. Yeah, never. It's yeah.
It's all fine.
Um,
Fun and
she
games
says,
until you launch a glass wall into a moon.
all right. Like I said, I was
It's
never the
it's
best at this
coming
sort of
interstellar
thing.
war.
What the? All right. I need to show you the thing that's happening with this character sheet right now.
Take a picture with your phone.
So Roll20 is really good. And I can't tell what that is, but I don't think it's persuasion.
No, I think that's the word
Oh,
language.
it's survival. Oh, the word survival is hidden behind it.
Oh, awesome.
In any case, she says, "All right, I've never been the best at this sort of thing, but might as well give it a shot. So, take the piece, take the little stick. All right, everybody, shut up." So she has the horn fragment in her left hand. She sort of has it clasped in a fist. She has the fork held between just at the point of two claws, and she's preparing to deliver it. Her eyes closed. And it's gonna be a flat one of these. Ooh.
Nice.
Somebody rolled well.
I know.
Okay,
It's a miracle.
there's a spark, and the fingers on her left hand sort of bulge as the thing in them suddenly gets larger, and suddenly she's holding a white sword blade, and she says, "Oh, it worked."
Nice.
Fantastic.
And then she yelps when it bursts into flame by itself, and she drops it. She said, "Okay," stomps it out. This crushes the blade. She said, "It almost worked." I don't think it would have been a very good blade, but it was just the first thing I thought of.
Would have been a good parade sword.
I mean, it's a one-time use weapon, even.
Well, we won't be using it now. Cron Tassel, if you'd like to collect the pieces as has been your tack so far.
Yep. We might be able to use this later.
I'm surprised you didn't catch it with your.
Sorry, that happened a little quickly.
I was also seeing, I don't know. She seemed like she was focusing. I was a little distracted.
I was gonna say you were focused on her.
What?
Wrapped, as they say.
I'm perfectly unbound. I don't know what you mean.
Raw wrapped with a T. With a T.
Well,
You come from deep and dark places, right, Albus Tavern?
Oh yes, I do.
Are there any places there where the air is heavy?
Quite so. Yeah, you want to avoid those places. Easy for me sometimes.
do the people who are in those places find themselves perhaps drunk?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Where I'm from, we call that a rapture of the deep. It's where the word "wrapped" comes from.
Interesting. I like that.
I was saying you were enchanted by the Brigadier.
I mean, she just told me to shut up. That's all.
I did tell you all to shut up. Thank you for doing so. I suppose I was still distracted anyway. Well, what do we say? Relative success?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that was fantastic.
Dick says I have a lot of information that I didn't have before.
Are we effectively doing transmutation? Turning it from one thing to another?
No, I think this is something different than transmutation. Transmutation is
I can do that.
at its simplest form temporary. At its most supreme, it's, well, simply transmuting one to another. And
I actually
it's,
can't. I can polymorph.
I wouldn't say simple, but it has rules. It has clear directives. We're not doing anything like that.
Are we not exchanging one state for another, though? Isn't that the
not
definition of transmutation?
not by any magical laws I know. We are, especially the way Montlaurens and Albus Tavers effects behaved, we are doing shifting. I can't call it anything else but the same thing the Redshift does. It's weird, it doesn't make sense, it doesn't follow any of the rules that I know. It, by all written magical law, should not work. But that's why I'm here and not in a lecture hall right now. Good job, everyone. I think we've sat around long enough. Shall we get back to it?
Certainly.
Yep.
Sure.
All right. We are gonna end the session here, and then next time, after you guys are finished at the tower, we're gonna go to Shoze.
Rad.
We have next week off, so don't forget to check the calendar and do signups and all that.
Word. Thanks for the session, man. That was great.
Thanks
you.
for mastering.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
You're welcome, everybody.
Good stuff. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Good night.
Night, everybody.
See you later.